The Danish royal family belongs to the House of Glucksburg, like the royal families of Norway and Greece before the abolition of the monarchy in Denmark. The dynasty is descended from Christian IX and Queen Louise. It is the youngest branch of the royal family, with roots going back more than 1,000 years. On January 14, 2024, after the abdication of his mother Margrethe II, Crown Prince Frederick ascended the throne. Along with him, Princess Mary became queen consort. The couple, who ascended the throne at the ages of 55 and 51 respectively, celebrated their 20th wedding anniversary in 2024. Prince Frederick and the Australian princess married after a 4-year courtship at Copenhagen Cathedral. Frederick met the advertising agency executive at a pub in Sydney, where he traveled to support the Danish sailing team at the 2000 Olympics. Philippe VI, then Prince of Asturias, is said to have witnessed that first meeting, followed by phone calls and a long-distance relationship that lasted several months. They have 4 children: Crown Prince Christian, Princess Isabella, and twins Vincent and Josephine. The Emerald Diadem of the Danish queens, the only jewelry of its kind in the crown jewels, is part of a parure with a matching necklace, brooch, and screw earrings. It was commissioned by Queen Caroline Amalia in 1840 by Weishaupt for the coronation of her husband, Christian VIII, the last Danish monarch to wear the crown of Christian V. All of the silver and gold pieces are adorned with bows studded with diamonds held, among others, by emeralds given by King Christian VI to Queen Sophie Madeleine at the birth of their son, the future Frederik V, in 1723. In the documentary series, Queen Margrethe of Denmark revealed that it was her mother, Queen Ingrid, who returned to using the jewels. My mother was interested in history and thought it was a pity that these jewels were lying around. They needed to be used. The king's wife, the queen, permission to use them. The former monarch, who considered the jewels a kind of work clothes, noted in the first chapter that the more than 60 emeralds in this set were very rare, of a very rich green color, very dark and almost without speckles, which is extremely rare. Frederick Andre Henri Christian was born on May 26, 1968 at Copenhagen University Hospital as the first-born son of Crown Princess Margrethe and Henri de Laborde de Monpezat. From that day forward, he was destined to become the king he is today. Educated in political science at Aarhus University and Harvard, he pursued a military career and is a senior commander in the Navy, a lieutenant colonel in the Army, and a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. He runs his own foundation through which he supports humanitarian, social, cultural, scientific, athletic, educational, nonprofit, and philanthropic causes. As for his personal interests, Frederik is a true adventurer and lover of speed. In 1986, he took part in an expedition to Mongolia, and in 2000, he took part in a 4-month dog sledding expedition in northern Greenland. Christian of Denmark was born on October 15, 2005, second in line after his father. He has completed his high school education and is already making his debut as Frederik's regent, a function that was assigned to him upon his accession to the throne. It is unknown at this time whether he, like the other heirs and heiresses, will receive a military education before going to university. Margaret of Denmark was born in Copenhagen on April 16, 1940, as the eldest of 3 daughters of King Frederick IX and Queen Ingrid, great-granddaughter of Britain's Queen Victoria. This event, the birth of 3 princesses, led in 1953 to a change in the law, approved by referendum, to allow a woman to rule in Denmark, which she did for 52 years from 1972 to 2024, the longest reign in Europe and the longest in her country. She was the only one of the 3 daughters of kings to attend university. She graduated from Cambridge with a degree in prehistoric archaeology, studied politics at Aarhus University, the Sorbonne, and the London School of Economics, and fell in love with French diplomat Henri de Laborde de Monpezat 1934-2018.in June 1969, just 1 year after Frederik's birth. Prince Joachim, Earl of Monpezat, was born After receiving military training like his brother and a degree in economics, he pursued a diplomatic career first in Paris and from 2023 at the Danish embassy in Washington. His departure was motivated in part by Margaret's decision to take away the titles of prince and princess from Joachim's children in order to achieve an easier and more economical monarchy. As of January 2023, much to Joachim's dismay, Henri, Athena, Nicholas, and Felix became Count and Countess of Monpezat. The first two, Henri and Athena, are the fruit of his second marriage to Princess Marie Cavalier. The eldest, Nicholas and Felix, were born during the years Joachim was married, from 1995 to 2005, to Alexandra Cherstein Manley, Countess of Frederiksborg. Princess Benedikte is Margrethe's second sister. Included in the order of succession to the throne, she can act as regent for Frederik and Prince Christian when they are abroad. After her marriage in 1968 to German Prince Richard Casimir Sayn, Wittgenstein-Berleburg, a member of one of her country's most important princely houses, she moved to Germany. Their 3 children were born: Gustav, Alexandra, and Natalia. From a distance, Benedikte continued to support Margrethe in her role. After her husband's death, she began to spend more time in Denmark. Anna Maria of Greece and Denmark was Queen Margrethe's younger sister. Although she grew up in Denmark, her marriage at the age of 18 to Constantine of Greece, whom she met when she was only 13, during a visit to Denmark by King Paul and Queen Frederik, brought her to the Greek country to marry in 1964 and have 5 children: Alexia, Paul, Nicholas, Theodora, and Philippos. Constantine's accession to the throne in the same year as her wedding made her queen consort, but her reign was very short, lasting only 9 years. Since then, they have lived in exile, first in Rome, then in London, until they were finally able to return to Greece in 2013. In January 2023, Anna Maria said goodbye to her beloved husband, the last king of the Hellenes, brother of Queen Sophia, the second daughter of King Frederick IX and Queen Ingrid of Denmark, who married German nobleman Richard Sayn Wittgenstein-Berleburg on February 3, 1968, in the chapel of Fredensborg Palace. For this romantic event, the princess used the needlework of her compatriot Jürgen Bender. It was he who dressed her younger sister Anne-Marie for her wedding to King Constantine of Greece in 1964, and her older sister Margaret for her wedding to Frenchman Henri de Laborde de Monpezat in 1967. Benedikte of Denmark's white gown consisted of an empire-cut cape with long sleeves, a boat neckline, and a very long cape-like train that barely hinted at the brocade skirt of the slightly flared silhouette. The only jewelry was 2 bows under the bust, adorned with a pair of star-shaped brooches inherited from her maternal great-grandmother Victoria, Queen Consort of Sweden. She wore the same Irish lace veil worn by her mother, maternal grandmother Margaret of Connaught, first wife of King Gustav VI Adolf of Sweden, and her sisters, and was crowned, like these two, with a Cartier diamond tiara, known as the tiara of the Khedive of Egypt, because it was the viceroy of that African country who gave it to her grandmother in 1904. The Danish royal family is related to several royal families in Europe. Queen Margrethe II is a first cousin of King Carl XVI Gustaf of Sweden. Margrethe's mother, Queen Ingrid, was the sister of the Swedish king's father, Prince Gustavus Adolphus, and both were sons of Gustavus VI Adolphus of Sweden and Margaret of Connaught. Margaret of Connaught was the granddaughter of Queen Victoria of Great Britain, known as the grandmother of Europe, so the Danish kings are related to the Windsors and the rest of the Windsor descendants. The second wife of Gustavus VI Adolf of Sweden, Louise Mountbatten, was also the sister of Princess Alice of Battenberg, mother of Prince Philip of Edinburgh-Ratt. 2 royal families are particularly close to the Danes, the Greeks, and the Norwegians. The Greeks, as descendants of George I of Greece, were the son of Christian IX of Denmark. The latter was also the son of Frederick VIII of Denmark, who married Louise of Sweden, the only daughter of Charles XV of Sweden, and the 4th of Norway and Louise of the Netherlands, and was also related to the Norwegian royal family.